Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. I've recently asked you guys on Twitter to send me questions for this upcoming Q&A, and I'm here to answer all of your questions. Where do PSG go as a club after Kylian Mbappe? What's one striker in the world right now that can replicate even half of its season goal tallies if they sign for PSG as his replacement? I think the best available player is Victor Osimhen. His goal-to ratio at Napoli, his entire Napoli stint in Serie A has been 0.72. That's a great number to have. So I think Victor Osimhen is the best available on the market at the moment. Maybe profilistically is not the best fit for a position side like Paris Saint-Germain, the Luis Enrique, but I think Victor Osimhen is the best name and best candidate to help replacing Mbappe's goals. If you could change one thing about our club, what would you change? A very interesting question there from Xavi Prop. I don't know. I love this club. There are a lot of stuff I love about this club. I don't know that many stuff I hate about the club. But I would probably target that towards the Ultras. I think I like the PSG Ultras. I like the reason for them being there. I like the point of having Ultras. It's a special feeling. But I do think the power situation is a bit weird at Paris Saint-Germain, where the Ultras, in my opinion, have way too much power pressuring the club and our club president, Nasser Khalifi. I mean, when they were saying the stuff about Messi, Neymar, Verratti, Galtier, Nasser's mom, and all of that, it's extremely disrespectful, and you're supposed to represent the club at a high stage, and you're going outside the PSG headquarters and saying all of that. So what I would say is Nasser just has to get hard on them. When they did the stuff about Neymar, you just don't post a statement saying this is wrong. No, you punish them. So I would like the PSG to take some balls, take some heavy measures, and punish the Ultras when needed to be punished, because then the Ultras will understand they can't be doing anything they want, because then they will get punished. Because, I mean, they don't have the maturity, they don't have the leadership, they don't have any of that to make these decisions themselves. So Nasser Khalifi just has to take the leadership role in this situation. Who really deserves the Ballon d'Or? It's extremely simple. Vinicius Jr. deserves the Ballon d'Or, in my opinion. Because first of all, he scored goals and led Real Madrid to their 15th Champions League in their history, scoring a goal in the final as well. But he was scoring goal after goal after goal in important games when someone like Jude Bellingham, who's also in the Ballon d'Or list, was completely ghosting. The shouts about Rodri winning Ballon d'Or is absolutely useless, and Kylian Mbappe is close, is on that list, but after his disastrous performance for Paris Saint-Germain in the knockout stages and in the Euros, he does not deserve a place. So my name for winning the Ballon d'Or has to be Vinicius Jr. Deserved. How far do you think we'll go in the Champions League next season? It's very hard for me to answer this question when we've only made one official signing so far. But I think at the end of the window, my expectations will be the same in the Champions League, which is at least the semi-final. We obviously reached it last season, but with Kylian Mbappe going and a lot of new signings coming in, I will still say that. What's your worst player that came to PSG under Qatar, and why Krychowiak? Yes, Krychowiak might be the worst player that has played at this club, alongside Jesse Rodriguez, in my opinion, and Jorginho Wijnaldum. Would you take Brahim Diaz? No. What do you think Mbappe's future will be like? I know you're Mo, and you like to say, well, I don't really care because he isn't a PSG player or something, but genuinely I'm interested in how you think it will go down. I think Kylian Mbappe is going into a new adventure with a club that he's been thinking about and dreaming about and all of that about joining, and I think he will have great numbers at that club. I think he will win many trophies, which is expected. I mean, that's what big players do and so on. So I think Kylian Mbappe has won a lot of stuff at PSG, and that winning trophies will continue with him over to Real Madrid. But I do think he will not meet the high expectations that has been put on him and this Real Madrid side. When do you think PSG will finally lift the Champions League? This year? Are you in if Mbappe wants to come back as free agent in 2029? Absolutely no. What Kylian Mbappe has done has fucked up the relationship between him and the club. So I definitely do not want Kylian Mbappe back. And again, this has nothing to do with his ability. Mbappe is one of the best players in the world, but everything he's done outweighs that. So no, I do not want Kylian Mbappe back in my club if he was a free agent in 2029. As a Ligue 1 fan, please rate Yoro. Yoro is one of the most promising young players in the world, I would say. As a centre-back, he's probably the most promising centre-back there is. Great talent, a great signing for Real Madrid. Someone that defend his space, someone that's great with the ball at his feet, and someone that can actually do stuff offensively as well. So this is a great signing for Manchester United. Would you have starting up top for Sweden, Gyökeres or Isaac? I would have Gyökeres starting up front for not instead of Isaac, but I would just put Isaac as a left winger because he's in that left forward role. He's a bit similar to Kylian Mbappe, Marcus Rashford, and these players. He's like not really a striker. He's more of a left forward. So I would play a front three of Isaac, Gyökeres, and Kulusevski. How many goals do you think Raptors scoring next season? And also, when will PSG win the Champions League? I think Kylian Mbappe will score at least 50-55 in all comps, and I believe Paris Saint-Germain will win the Champions League this year. Should we sign Lunin since he wants out of Madrid? No. I think Lunin had a great season with Real Madrid, but he's not better than Gianluigi Donnarumma. And we just signed Matvei Sofanov and have Arnautena, so this is not a priority signing for PSG. Favorite Brazilian team? I mean, I don't watch the Brazilian team that much, or Brazilian league, or anything at all. But if I have to choose one, maybe Santos. If PSG never existed, which club would you have supported and why? I don't know. It's that simple. PSG have had such a big impact on my footballing life that I legit can't put any club in that place. And I don't know. I don't know if PSG didn't exist, what club I would support. Honest thoughts on Kaká. Underrated with time. I mean, he won that Ballon d'Or, but I think his stint at Madrid it didn't really go where people expected it to go, and I think that has affected his footballing legacy overall. I mean, he's a Ballon d'Or winner, he's a World Cup winner in 02, he's a Champions League winner, and I do think he deserves a lot of respect. And all the comparisons to someone like Kevin De Bruyne, so disrespectful. Who deserves the Ballon d'Or, and in which order does the top three come? Vinicius Jr. deserves the Ballon d'Or, as I've mentioned before in this Q&A, and the top three has to be Vinicius Jr., Kylian Mbappe. I don't know if Mbappe is second or third, but the third player will be... Oh my God, it's so mid. For me, it's Vinny Mbappe, and then everyone else is garbage, like straight as garbage. Third in the top three... Let me go Vitinha. I mean, he deserves it more than Bellingham and all of these bums. Where your bias and hatred decide? Do you think Kylian is your club's best ever player, or top three at least? Love you, Achi. Yo, love you too, Suwan. I would say Kylian Mbappe is obviously not the best player I've seen. I've seen Neymar Jr. I think he's the best player I've seen at PSG. I think Ibrahimovic is the second best player I've seen at PSG. And then, I mean, third place, I don't think there is a third guy, but I think Mbappe, you can put him in a similar position alongside Marco Verratti and Thiago Silva. But I would probably put Verratti and Thiago Silva above Kylian Mbappe. And this is no bias at all. You think it was a mistake to not go after Calafiore? I don't think so. Look, PSG, when it comes to looking for centre-backs, we're looking for depth and options. I think Calafiore wanted the starting position, something that PSG would not be able to promise, especially with Arsenal and all the big clubs that have been after him. He knows he can get a starting place. So no, I definitely don't think so, especially for his 45 million price tag. That's not something we're looking for when it comes to a depth centre-back option. PSG goes trophyless for the next decade and gets relegated to the lowest French division. Will you stop supporting them? If yes, which club would you support? No, I would not stop supporting Paris Saint-Germain, and no, I would not start supporting another new club. Are Arsenal fans masochists? I don't know what that word means, so I don't know. Clickbait or the Bernese? I mean, very long time ago, I was a recent interaction with Clickbait and Bernie. I mean, I've never interacted with her, but I'll probably say Bernice because Clickbait is just cringe. Is Barcola a good option for left wing because he's so inconsistent? I think Bradley Barcola is somewhat inconsistent purely because of his age. He was his debut season. He didn't get to start from the beginning. He started games back in November, so him being inconsistent was the least of my worries. By him being a starter, that would put more pressure on Barcola, and he knows he cannot go through a bad, rough patch like he did last season. Are you really a caveman? No, but I do look up to cavemen more than modern men. Is PSG's 24-25 season going to be something different or the same stuff? I don't really know what you mean with different and same stuff, because I think every single recent PSG season has been different from the previous one. But with us not having a single superstar for the first time since pretty much 16-17, because I wouldn't really call Di Maria or Cavani that. I mean, Di Maria was close to it, but I wouldn't really call him that. So in that sense, it's going to be a different kind of season. How high are you on Mbaye? In the next season or one, to think he has everything, double-footed production at under 19 while being 16, and is physically strong too. He doesn't really have a weekend bar, sometimes wasting chance because he's young. I think he could be the face of the club. I mean, face of the club, you're going a very far way, Ash, there. But what I will say is I'm extremely excited by Mbaye. Him already being part of our squad for the next season. Like usually some under 19 players will train with the players and then fight to be part of the team. But he's already been promised to be part of that team, which just talks about his ability. And him being 16 and playing with other under 19 players and still being the best player in that academy and the top goal scorer just talks about his immense ability. I hope that we do not sign a backup right winger, because I would like Mbaye to get enough minutes and get more minutes than Mayulu got last season, because Mbaye could be the real deal. What do you think of Sao Paulo? Not that much, but merci for Lucas Beraldo. Marseille or Madrid? Madrid. If you sign Doué and Neves, what is the best midfield three we can play? I think there's so many different variations, because we will have the most dynamic midfield in the world, but we'll also have so many different kind of profiles that it's a bit hard for me to say there's a best midfield three, but I would probably have to say Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, and João Neves as the best midfield three. If not, Vitinha, Fabian, and Warren, just from like the last season, and all the new players will just compete with them. Barca or Madrid? Just because of the Mbappe transfer to Madrid, I'm going to say Barca. Who will win this next season Champions League? Paris Saint-Germain. Do PSG really need to sign Kvaratskhelia despite having Barcola? I don't think we need to sign Kvaratskhelia, but it would be awesome to sign Kvaratskhelia. I do think we need to sign a striker, but I don't think we need or ever needed to sign Kvaratskhelia. Which transfer do you think is the transfer of the summer window, and why is it Mbappe to Real Madrid? I mean, it's obviously going to be Mbappe. He's the biggest transfer out of all of them, even though he went for free. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. So, yeah, I guess. With Mbappe leaving, who do you think is the face of Liga McDonald's League? I don't know. It's always going to be a PSG player, and the face of PSG currently is between Ousmane Dembélé and Vitinha, probably Dembélé. So I'll have to say Ousmane Dembélé. How would you react if Jude won the Ballon d'Or? I'll be disgusted. I'll probably make some tweets. I'll probably make a YouTube video just showing my reaction, spitting on the camera. Yeah. What do you think about the new Champions League format? I'm extremely excited to watch the new Champions League format and how it unveils and how the teams get drawn against each other and that. So yeah, I'm extremely excited because it's a new thing, and I think it's an improvement from the new previous format. Would you take Coman? Yes or yes? No. I think the only viable option for Kingsley Coman in 2024 is Saudi Arabia. Mbappe or Osimhen? Osimhen. Dembele or Vini? Dembele. Choose one. Neves or Doué? Choose one. If you must had to let go between Warren, Zaire-Emery and Barcola, I would choose Neves over Doué, and I would rather keep... Wow. The Warren Barcola one is hard, because I think Barcola maybe, especially with him being an attacker, has a higher ceiling, but Warren is from the academy and is my brother lookalike. I would keep Warren, man. I don't know. That's by far one of the toughest questions I've ever received. Great question. I don't know, man. What do you think we need in the last season PSG squad to win the Champions League, and why? I think what we needed last season was our players to score in that Dortmund tie. Both legs, we scored 0 goals in total. So that was, for me, the only thing that was missing. Obviously, we should not be conceding that corner goal. I'm okay with the Fulcro goal. It was an amazing pass by Schlotterbeck, but it was definitely us just not being able to put the ball into the net. So that's what should have changed last season. Who's winning the Ballon d'Or? Vini Jr. Should Warren be a starter next season? I think that whoever is the best or part of the 3 best midfielders should start. Luis Enrique will obviously rotate with him having so many different options, but Warren Zaire-Emery, I know that if he plays to his best, which he will do, he will be a starter, 100%. One player from Real Madrid you wish to play for PSG. There aren't that many players from any team at all that I would wish to play for PSG, but like who I would want from that Madrid side. I mean, for example, Vini, I would like to have Vini at PSG, but we have Barcola. That's not really a position we're looking to strengthen. So if I'm going to pick a position we're looking to strengthen in this Paris Saint-Germain squad, from that Madrid side, wow, it's actually hella mid from Madrid. I mean, I like Courtois because he won't make the Champions League mistakes as Gianluigi Donnarumma. Wow, this is mid, man. Madrid have a mid squad. Leniora? I would take... When Madrid play, wish play for PSG. Man, what? You know what? Arda Güler. I really wanted Arda Güler when it was Fenerbahce. So I'm going to say Arda Güler. World would be better to trust on Ramos or go all in with Seaman? Go all in on Seaman, but try to sell Colo ahead of Gonzalo, even though it's very hard. I did start supporting PSG. So I arrived in Sweden in 2012. I had played football before with my friends, and some of them supported teams and so on, but I never really supported the team. The only thing I had was I enjoyed watching Zlatan Ibrahimovic highlights and comps and his goals and assists and magical back heels and bicycle kicks and all of that. So when we came to Sweden, my mom just told me, oh, she saw on the news that he's joined this club PSG. And I was like, oh, where's that? She was like, oh, in Paris. I've been in Paris before. I have family there. It just felt like correct club to choose. And it was an extremely unique club to support as well. With the majority of the people living in Sweden and the people I knew supporting Madrid, Barca, a little bit Milan, Bayern, and then like the top Premier League clubs. Which country are you from? I'm half Algerian, half Swedish ethnically. What PSG youngster do you think will have the best season? I think out of all of the youngsters, it will obviously be Warren Zaire-Emery because he doesn't really have that much tough competition. But in the future seasons, there will definitely be tough competition for Warren Zaire-Emery when it comes to the Paris Saint-Germain Titis, which means youngsters in French. Do you think Ibrahim Baye can turn into an important player for us? I think Ibrahim Baye, as I mentioned before, can definitely turn into an important player. Just this season, what I'm expecting for him is to start maybe a couple of games here and there, maybe in the cup, maybe in some low-tier Liga games, and prove us that he's a great player. But the most important thing for me is when he comes off the bench. When he comes off the bench and Dembele goes off, and need Baye to prove himself. Even though he's just 16, we've seen what Yamal can do. Age is just a number. Why PSG? Unique, different. Ibra joined early on. I have attachment to the city of Paris and somewhat to the country of France. So yeah, that's why. Any club you have a soft spot for? I would say the only club I have some of a soft spot for that's like a big club is AC Milan, because Zlatan Ibrahimovic played there for a very long time before he came to PSG and after obviously coming back from LA Galaxy. So, and I used to watch a lot of AC Milan, and there's never really been a reason for me to hate on Milan. There's nothing really negative about that club. So I would say AC Milan. If you could bring back one PSG player from 10 years ago, which one would it be? Very interesting question. 10 years ago, we're going back to 2013, 2014. From that squad, from what we need, I would obviously pick Zlatan Ibrahimovic. There are a lot of great players in that squad. Thiago Silva, Thiago Motta, Verratti, all of that. But yeah, I would obviously pick Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I mean, we need a striker, and Zlatan would have been absolutely insane. He's like a mixture of Osimhen and Alvarez, because he got great technique, but he's also a monster in the box. Do you think Xavi Simons is a rat? Yes. Yes, I think Xavi Simons has been extremely ungrateful for the love and passion both this club and its supporters have given him, and I've genuinely just given up on Xavi Simons. Well, that's been it from the PSGINT Q&A. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Smash the like button if you enjoyed it, and as usual, allez Paris!